If you're a U.S. citizen or green card holder on the path to citizenship, one innocent mistake could derail everything you've worked for. Thousands of people lose their citizenship or get their applications denied every year, not because they're bad people, but because they didn't know the rules. In this video, I'll reveal the 7 critical mistakes you must avoid to protect your American dream. Welcome back to Immigration Fresh Updates, where we guide you through the complex world of U.S. immigration with clarity, compassion, and no legal jargon. Just honest advice you can use. Today's topic is serious, but essential. We're counting down the 7 biggest mistakes that could cost you your U.S. citizenship or derail your naturalization journey. Whether you're already a citizen, a green card holder preparing to apply, or someone who recently naturalized, these mistakes can have devastating consequences. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid, how to protect yourself, and which alternative citizenship options exist if things get complicated. So stay with me, take notes, and let's safeguard your future together. Starting at mistake number 7. Living outside the United States for too long without proper documentation. Here's what most people don't realize. U.S. citizenship isn't automatically permanent if you abandon your ties to America. If you're a naturalized citizen and you leave the U.S. for extended periods, especially to live permanently in another country, USCIS can question whether you intended to remain a U.S. citizen. For green card holders preparing for citizenship, the rules are even stricter. You must be physically present in the U.S. for at least 30 months out of the last 5 years before applying for naturalization. Any single trip longer than 6 months can disrupt your continuous residence requirement. A trip longer than 1 year? That automatically breaks your continuous residence unless you applied for a re-entry permit beforehand. But here's the reassurance. Short trips are fine. Vacations, family visits, even extended travel for work, as long as you maintain your primary home, pay U.S. taxes, and return regularly, you're safe. The trust factor here is critical. USCIS looks at your intent. Do you file taxes? Do you own property? Do you have family in the U.S.? These prove your commitment. If you need to live abroad temporarily for work or family, apply for a re-entry permit before leaving. It protects your status and shows USCIS you're serious about returning. Don't let distance cost you your dream. Plan your travel carefully and document everything. Mistake number 6 is a silent killer. Failing to file U.S. taxes, even if you live abroad. Here's the reality. The United States taxes its citizens and green card holders on worldwide income, no matter where you live. If you're working in Canada, Germany, or anywhere else, you still need to file U.S. tax returns. Even if you don't owe taxes due to foreign tax credits or exclusions, filing is mandatory. Why does this matter for citizenship? Because USCIS requires proof of tax compliance during your naturalization interview. If you haven't filed taxes for the required years, your application will be denied, no exceptions. And if you're already a citizen, ignoring taxes can lead to criminal charges, fines, or, in extreme cases, loss of citizenship if the government proves you lied on your application about tax history. But here's the good news. Fixing tax issues is possible. The IRS offers programs for people who failed to file, including penalty waivers for certain situations. The key is to act before USCIS discovers the problem. Politically, tax compliance is non-negotiable. It's how the government ensures you're contributing to the country you want to call home. The job market advantage? Being tax compliant also helps if you ever need to sponsor family members or apply for federal jobs. They check everything. Don't let taxes be the reason you lose citizenship. Hire a tax professional, file your returns, and keep records of everything. Your future depends on it. Mistake number 5 is one of the most devastating. Committing certain crimes after becoming a U.S. citizen. Most people think once you're a citizen, you're untouchable. That's not entirely true. While citizenship offers strong protections, it can be revoked under specific circumstances, especially if you committed fraud during your application or concealed criminal activity. Here's what's at risk. If USCIS discovers you lied about your criminal history during naturalization, they can initiate denaturalization proceedings. This applies to crimes like drug trafficking, terrorism-related offenses, or involvement in human smuggling, even if they happened before you became a citizen but weren't disclosed. Stay out of trouble. Be honest. And if you've made mistakes, seek legal help immediately. Your citizenship is worth protecting. Mistake number 4 is dangerous and increasingly common. Marriage fraud, or marrying someone solely to get a green card. Let's be clear. Marrying a U.S. citizen for love and obtaining a green card is perfectly legal and beautiful. But marrying someone just for immigration benefits? That's fraud, and USCIS takes it extremely seriously. Here's what happens. If USCIS suspects your marriage isn't genuine, they'll investigate. They'll interview you separately, visit your home, check your finances, social media, photos, everything. If they find inconsistencies, your green card will be denied or revoked, and you could face criminal charges, fines, and deportation. Both parties can be prosecuted. Even if you make it past the initial interview, the scrutiny doesn't end. You'll need to remove conditions on your green card after 2 years, and USCIS will reassess. If you've separated or divorced by then, without proving the marriage was real, you're in trouble. But here's the hopeful part. Real marriages face challenges too. Separations, divorces, misunderstandings. If your marriage was genuine but didn't work out, you can still apply for a waiver and keep your green card. You'll need evidence, joint bank accounts, lease agreements, photos, affidavits from family and friends. Politically, the U.S. respects genuine relationships and family unity. The system isn't designed to punish honest people. It's designed to catch fraudsters. The trust factor? Authenticity wins. If your relationship is real, document everything. Texts, trips, bills, holidays. Never fake a marriage for papers. The consequences aren't worth it. Build your future on truth, not deception. Mistake number 3 is the most common reason for citizenship denial. Lying or making false statements on your N-400 naturalization application. Here's the truth. USCIS doesn't just glance at your application. They verify everything. Criminal history, travel records, employment, addresses, tax filings, even social media. If they find a single lie or omission, your application will be denied, and you could face fraud charges or deportation. People lie for many reasons. They hide traffic tickets, forget to mention a short trip abroad, omit a previous marriage, or fail to disclose an arrest that was dismissed. Even innocent mistakes can look like fraud if you're not careful. Here's what people get wrong. They think if a charge was dropped or expunged, they don't need to report it. Wrong. USCIS asks, have you ever been arrested or cited? The answer is yes, even if charges were dismissed. Explain it, provide court documents, and let USCIS decide. But here's the reassurance. Honesty is your greatest protection. If you made a mistake on your application, you can correct it before your interview. Bring documentation, explain the error, and show you're acting in good faith. Culturally, the U.S. immigration system values transparency. Judges and officers understand people make mistakes. What they can't forgive is intentional deception. The trust factor? Your integrity is being tested. Pass it by being truthful, thorough, and prepared. Review your application carefully, work with a qualified immigration attorney if needed, and never, ever lie. Your citizenship depends on your honesty. Mistake number 2 might surprise you: failing the civics or English test during your naturalization interview. Yes, the test is required, and yes, thousands of people fail every year. But here's the good news. You get 2 chances. If you fail the first time, you can retake it within 60 to 90 days. The civics test covers U.S. history and government. 100 possible questions, and you'll be asked 10. You need to answer 6 correctly to pass. The questions are straightforward. Who is the president? What does the Constitution do? How many amendments does it have? The English test evaluates your ability to read, write, and speak basic English. You'll read 1 sentence correctly, write 1 sentence correctly, and demonstrate conversational ability during your interview. Why do people fail? Anxiety, lack of preparation, or language barriers. But here's the hopeful part. Free study materials are everywhere. USCIS provides official study guides, practice tests, apps, and videos. Community organizations offer free classes, and online tutors are affordable. If you're over 50 and have been a green card holder for 20+ years, or over 55 with 15+ years, you can take the civics test in your native language. If you have a disability, you can apply for a waiver. The cultural expectation? The U.S. wants citizens who understand its values and can participate in democracy. Don't let the test intimidate you. Study consistently, practice with friends or family, and take it seriously. Your effort shows respect for the country you want to join. And now, the #1 mistake that could cost you U.S. citizenship: not disclosing membership in prohibited organizations. This is the most serious and least understood mistake. The N-400 application asks whether you've ever been a member of or associated with organizations that advocate violence, terrorism, totalitarianism, or persecution. This includes communist parties, Nazi affiliations, terrorist groups, or organizations that oppose organized government. Here's why this matters. Even if your membership was decades ago, in another country, or involuntary, you must disclose it. USCIS conducts deep background checks, including international databases. If they discover undisclosed membership, your application will be denied, your green card could be revoked, and you could face deportation. But here's the critical nuance. Disclosure doesn't automatically disqualify you. If you were forced to join, or it was a brief, passive membership years ago, you can explain and provide context. Many people from former communist countries were required to join youth organizations or political parties. USCIS understands that. The mistake is hiding it. That's when USCIS assumes you're concealing something dangerous. Politically, the U.S. takes national security seriously. This question exists to protect the country from threats, not to punish people for past circumstances beyond their control. The trust factor? Full disclosure shows you have nothing to hide. It demonstrates transparency, respect for U.S. law, and a clean break from any past affiliations. If this applies to you, consult an immigration attorney before submitting your N-400. They can help you explain your history properly and protect your application. Honesty, context, and documentation are your best defense. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below. Where are you in your citizenship journey? Are you preparing to apply, or have you already naturalized? Let's support each other in the comments. Here's the truth. Mistakes happen, but they don't have to cost you your citizenship. The key is knowledge, preparation, and honesty. Whether you're on the path to naturalization or already a proud U.S. citizen, protect what you've worked so hard to achieve.